Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jeb Smith, and in today's video, we're going to discuss this article put out by Housing Wire earlier today, where they came out with UWM's new mortgage that offers interest rates as low as 2.25% for VA loans. Now, last month, if you remember, UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage, came out and said that they were willing to offer interest rates as low as 2.5% on purchases and refinances for new customers only. Now, this was at the time that interest rates were sitting somewhere around 3 1/8, 3.25%. They were coming out and saying that they're offering 2.5% on 30-year loans. And now, as of today, they're saying that they will offer as low as 2.25% on VA loans. So what we're gonna do in today's video is we're gonna dive into their pricing. Is it realistic? Can you actually get 2.25% on a VA loan if you're a new customer to UWM? You know, are there pricing hits? Are there points? Are there closing costs involved? What's associated with that? And then also, we're going to tell you what you need to do if you're considering taking advantage of these rates, whether it's with a VA, whether it's FHA or conventional. Maybe you can't take advantage of the rates that we're talking about today, but you might be interested in refinancing, and all of this is going to apply to you regardless of what type of loan you have. So stick around and we'll go over that information in just a minute. Before we dive into it, I want to take a minute and ask a favor. If you're new to my channel and you like all things real estate, whether it's mortgage finance, buying a home, selling a home, understanding the terms or the process in general, or you just want to keep up to date on trending topics with regards to home ownership, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. That's what my channel is all about. It's helping guide people through the real estate process to make it easier and more enjoyable. And if you like the content, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, as it helps more people see it. Let's pull up that article to show you the source of which I got the information, read directly from it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. United Wholesale Mortgage announced a new VA loan program Wednesday that offers borrowers an interest rate as low as 2.25% for both purchase mortgages and refinances. Last month, UWM rolled out a new loan program that offered borrowers an interest rate as low as 2.5%, which we talked about earlier. It does go on to say that UWM is both the nation's largest purchase mortgage lender and the largest wholesale lender, meaning it doesn't lend directly to borrowers. It works directly with independent mortgage brokers who can in turn offer these low rates to their customers. By offering conventional 30-year fixed rates to veterans in the 2.25 to 2.375 range, UWM said it intends to support veteran borrowers in one of the strongest purchase seasons on record due to pent-up demand created by COVID-19. Okay, so there's the article directly from Housing Wire. And in there, I mentioned that last month they offered rates at 2.5%. Now, if you were paying attention to those videos that I did last month, I discussed how what they were offering wasn't actually what you could get as a borrower coming in without paying points in order to get that rate. And a lot of times it was multiple points, multiple discount points in order to get that 2.5%. So what does that actually mean? Well, it meant that if you have a $300,000 mortgage, for example, in order to take advantage of that 2.5% rate at that time, it was going to cost you somewhere around 2% of that $300,000 loan amount, which would be $6,000. So $6,000 on top of other closing costs in order to take advantage of the 2.5%. Now, in some cases, that might make sense to you, depending on what part of the country you're in, your loan amount, you know, how long you plan on keeping the property. What you have to do is take those savings that you're going to be saving by dropping to 2.5% and factor in the cost that it's going to take you to get there and how long it takes you to repay those costs. Does it make sense at that point if it takes you 5-7 years in order to repay what it cost you to buy down that loan? That's what you have to decide. And so what I did when I heard the article today or read the article today, I reached out to a local mortgage broker and asked them, hey, is this pricing accurate? And they said exactly what I thought they would say. And they said, you know, the 2.25% is realistic, but it's going to cost you 1% to get there, and it's only on a 22-day lock. So Basically what that means is that your loan has to be in a position where you've already been approved, you're already in the process and just waiting to lock that loan, because your lender can't lock a 22-day loan in most cases unless they have the paperwork from you in order to start that process. So you've already got to be in process in order to take advantage of it. But it's also going to cost you that 1%. So 1% in order to get down to that rate. And in addition, you're going to have closing costs on top of that. So if we use the example again from earlier, $300,000 loan amount, in order to get that 2.25%, it's going to cost you at least 1%. Now, when I say at least 1% is because there may be other hits to the rate. Hits like credit score, depending on what your loan amount is. These are different things that play into what interest rate you get. A couple days ago, I did a video where I discussed, how your interest rate is calculated, which I'll put up here in the corner, that goes over those different things, and how just because they're offering 2.25% doesn't necessarily mean you're going to qualify for that rate. You might qualify for a higher rate based on those different adjustments because of credit score, because of loan amount, etc. And that takes me to our last point. What you should be doing if you're considering taking advantage of these rates. I mean, if I'm telling you that you can get 2.25%, even if it costs you a point and you're interested, that's something you want to take advantage of, what you should be doing is talking to a mortgage broker, right? As I mentioned in that article, UWM doesn't lend directly to the consumer, so you need to find a mortgage broker who does business with UWM, who is an approved broker through UWM. Now, there may be other lenders out there that jump on the bandwagon that are also offering these rates, but at the moment, this is the only lender I'm seeing, so you need to have that conversation with someone and talk about whether or not you qualify for that rate, how much it's going to cost you. And if you're still on board, then you need to start working on that paperwork, getting that documentation to that lender. We've talked about that information as well. That's tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, a copy of your mortgage statement, a copy of your homeowner's insurance. All of that documentation needs to get to your lender so that they can start the process of submitting your loan, working on getting it approved so that you're in a position to lock a loan on a 22-day lock if you need it, right? Because as we mentioned, you can't do a 22-day lock in most cases. Most brokers aren't going to go out and just lock a rate for you without you having the paperwork submitted and the loan approved. Otherwise, they get looked at negatively from the lender when they lock loans and they don't end up closing them. And that hurts their ratio with the lender, which could affect their pricing, could affect other things. So know that if you're interested in taking advantage of this, maybe you think rates are even going to go lower than 2.25%. Still have the conversation, still get the paperwork you need into your lender so that you can start it. I, for one, did this at the end of last week. I'm in a position now where I'm refinancing because rates are below 3%, and that's something I wanted to take advantage of, so I got all my paperwork over there, and now I'm in a position where I can lock the loan. So that's what I would do if I were in your position and looking to take advantage of it. But as always, I encourage you, if you have questions, you need referral to a mortgage broker, to someone in another area, do me a favor, reach out to me directly. I'm happy to provide that information if I know someone, or put you in touch with someone who does. But if there's a question I can answer, comment below. If there's another topic you want me to touch on, I'm happy to do that as well. But as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.